Hello YouTube, this is Blurred Sci-Fi Gamer. Welcome to Blurred Pokemon Plays, an archive of all of my Pokemon ROM hack development. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy. Welcome back! This video we are going to take down the Rocket Hideout in Mahogany Town. No wild Pokemon in this video. Only trainers, Rocket executives. Actually, scratch that. We do have to take down the 3 Electrodes at the end. But no grass or surfing encounters. I will put information on those Electrodes in the description. This is a tedious portion of the game. It's not a favorite of anyone who's played Gen 2. There are 2 Rocket episodes. This is the first one. It's simpler and a bit shorter. The second one is longer. More trainers. Actually, I'm not sure. I'll have to verify that which one has more trainers. But either way, this is a tedious section. You're basically just battling a bunch of grunts or peasants, underlings, that are not very high up in Team Rocket, and they're just not very good. I have buffed the levels to be more in line with the level curve. And as you can see, Grimer knocking out my Onix with Octazooka. Some of the Pokemon just naturally, based off of how the learn sets have been updated, are going to have better moves. But I did not change any of the Pokemon. All I changed was the learn sets, which are just, it's a new learn set for all Pokemon in the ROM hack, as well as levels. So this level 19 Rattata is there just because a level 19 Raticate would be illegal, as it would be a little weird to have a level 25 Rattata. That's why there's a low level Rattata there. So I took those things into account. I'm using this section to level up my lower level Pokemon. Not going to see much use for Ampharos and Starmie, just because they're by far my strongest Pokemon and they're in the 30s. The rest of my team is at or around level 30. Getting some good experience here. Virgil is unquestionably my weak link. Onix is not good. I said this from the day I caught it. Onix is not strong. It's a very weak Pokemon. It has too much defense and not enough in any other stat. I'm doubling back here because I forgot to click the switch on the computer. Make sure you do that. Click the switch on the computer to disable these security cameras so you don't have to fight those 2 Rockets every single time you pass one of the statues. As I was saying earlier, Onix is just this very weak Pokemon. Steelix is a huge upgrade, better typing, much better attack, better all-around stats. And in this ROM hack, Onix evolves into Steelix at level 34. You don't need to trade with the metal coat. It's just a level up evolution. As is the case with all trade Evos. Machoke evolves into Machamp at 38. It's the same with Graveler to Golem. Scyther to Scizor. Porygon 2. And then there are 3 Pokemon. Seadra to Kingdra, Haunter to Gengar, and Kadabra to Alakazam. That's all at level 42. This is detailed in the Poke community write-up that will be linked in the description. Slowking and Politoed are divergent evolutions that they both happen if you trade with an item Instead, they are happiness evolutions now. So if you don't use a water stone on Poliwhirl, or if you hold Slowpoke from evolving into Slowbro, with enough happiness, they can evolve into their evolution, their other evolutions. These traps in the floor are wild Pokemon. They are wild Pokemon that I forgot to mention, but they're unavoidable. You must defeat them to move on. So you can quickly see why this area is thought of as hideous. In watching this video, though, you're going to get to see all the trainers, what all the trainers have. Thank you, Lance. This grunt having a Venonat is pretty cool. Again, I didn't change any of the Pokemon choices. They're within the same line. I may have messed with a couple evolutions, Raticate instead of Rattata or vice versa, but no Pokemon swaps. That's the design philosophy for this ROM hack, is I'm not out to change things from vanilla, only to enhance them and make them more logical. The level curve was a big thing. This is the non-linear portion of Johto. Grunts are classified as regular trainers, so their Pokemon are generally going to be between level 20 and 25. Whereas the bosses, the executives, are going to be closer to level 30. Not quite as strong as the gym leaders in this section. By non-linear section, I mean after defeating Morty for your 4th gym in Acritique City, you can come to Mahogany and take care of this first, or you can go towards Olivine City and Cianwood and take care of those events first. It's up to you. Throughout this entire section, all the levels I've kept flat, and they are buffed from vanilla. Again, the regular trainers are between levels 20 and 25, generally speaking, and the bosses are going to be about level 30, and the gym leaders are going to be somewhere in the low 30s to mid 30s throughout this non-linear section. Having Kilimanjaro, some good experience here. Getting quite close to becoming Typhlosion. Evolves at level 36. Typhlosion is a fantastic Pokemon in Gen 2. And gets a nice learn set too in this ROM hack. Typhlosion is one of those hard carry Pokemon. If I were to make a tier list, may do that at some point. If I were to make a tier list, Typhlosion's definitely somewhere in the A tier. And you'll see that when I get Typhlosion. Mon carries hard. So we got the first password. It's one thing I never liked about really any of the Pokemon games is the rocket stuff. I understand why they do it. You know, that it enhances the storyline, but it's very tedious. It's kind of a double-edged sword because it's very tedious, but it does give your Pokemon some nice levels and some easier battles. So that part is good. It just gets a bit repetitive, taking down Raticate and Koffing and stuff over and over again. I collect all items. I've mentioned this in other videos. Any item that I don't value or find any kind of use in, I'm just going to sell for cash. Cash is great in this ROM hack just because you can use it to purchase TMs. All TMs can be bought before the Elite Four. And the TM list has been upgraded. There's a lot more useful TMs in the ROM hack versus vanilla. Most notably, the old move tutor moves, the elemental attacks, Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, and Ice Beam are all TMs that can be bought. So that's a nice addition. This is where Onyx limitation is showing. It's just Onyx's attack is just so low. Having a lot of trouble beating a 7 levels lower Raticate with brute force. The red-haired Metis returns. He doesn't want any smoke this time, no. Ah. Of course he pushes you out the way after he tells you that Lance went ahead and cleaned his clock in a battle. And it's here that I realized that I did not talk to that rocket grunt to get the second password. Remember to do that. Talk to the grunt to get the second password. First to the rocket executives. So I've got this Golbat beat by 4 levels. I'm going to try to see if I can brute force it. As you can see, badge boosts in this ROM hack have been removed. I got lucked out with a burn here. Badge boosts have been removed, and the opponent's Pokemon have very strong DVs. Brute forcing is a lot more difficult. I'm going to go into Bodyguard here. Get a super effective Rock Smash. Super Fang always does half of your available HP. That's why it just did so much damage. And I am very surprised that Raticate lived that. Rock Smash is essentially Brick Break in this ROM hack. It's 75 base power now. Instead of taking down screens, though, kept its 20% chance to lower defense. Oh, well, Koffing is at level 32. Virgil finishes off with Dig. Running into the table, like, that's a nice touch. It's pretty funny. He just runs into the table on his way out. Okay. Almost at the end of the line. Now we can go to the boss's room. Take out the last executive. Be good to go. Two versus one. And Lance's Dragonite comes to the rescue. And it is right here where I realized that I forgot to heal my Pokemon between executive battles. That's not good. Especially since I'm not using items in battle. Definitely forgot to do that. Not good. Not good. Bodyguard is still knocked out. Down a Pokemon here. Come on, Virgil. 4? Bruh. Gloom. My Kilimanjaro has no strength left. I don't really have a good switch. I mean, Lamb Chops can beat it. Death Star can beat it too. At this point, I mean, Virgil has not been carrying his weight, so I don't really mind losing Virgil at this point. I don't think I have any revives, but Virgil, you've had enough opportunities. Gonna go Death Star. Starmie is a hard carry. Starmie takes out Gloom. No problem there. Murkrow. Despite my team getting tired, I'm still in good shape. I have Ampharos. I have Starmie. Both of them at high level. And I also have the red Gyarados sitting there in the back that I haven't even used. I don't think any of those Pokemon want anything to do with a level 40 red Gyarados. Lance is concerned about rival, huh? I would have liked to have seen that battle. The red-haired Menace versus Lance, just seeing him get 6-0'd. You'll see in a later video just how strong Lance is. Lance is one of the strongest trainers in the game. In fact, I'd say is Lance and Blue are on the same level in the game in strength, which is just below Red. But Lance is extremely powerful in this game. You'll see when we get to the Elite Four. Lance is outstanding. I went ahead and caught the first Electrode, and it sent it back to, got sent to the PC. You can catch these Electrode. You may as well. I did take out the Krabby for Voltorb trade. I can't remember off the top of my head where else you can get Voltorb in the game, or at least in Johto. So to get Voltorb, you're either going to have to catch one of these Electrode, and breed it. And I may, in a future release, just to keep consistent with the legal levels, I may increase the Electrode levels to level 30 to make them legal, because technically Voltorb evolves into Electrode at level 30. However, at this stage in the game, fighting 3-level Electrodes might be a bit too difficult. Not sure. Probably will address that in version 1.1. There will be another release of this game. Lance gives you Whirlpool for taking care of this rocket section. Gonna give Whirlpool to the red Gyarados. That's an easy, good user of it. See, my team took quite a beating in the hideout. Just attrition. That's it for the hideout. Now we can take on the gym next. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and join our community.